Hi there, I'm Kevin from Buffer. I'm excited to share this tip today about branding tips and keeping a consistent looking profile on all your different social media sites. I'd love to start this tip off by kind of walking you through what someone might do in order to find you online and kind of how that plays into personal branding and then coming up with a consistent look. So if I were here at Google and someone were to search for me, here is a results page. And first result, just to show you how many social media results are here. This is the Twitter result. This is me on the Buffer blog. This is my personal site. Here's the LinkedIn page and a couple author pages here, and then Google Plus and Facebook. So 4 out of the top 10 here are social media sites. So I guess the idea here is if someone were to search me, I want to make sure all these different sites are consistent. So I'll open each of these: Twitter, LinkedIn, Google Plus, and Facebook. And coming to look at these, what we're kind of looking for on each of these is that it has a consistent look and feel to them and consistent messaging. So the first thing I'll notice here is the profile picture. So it's great often to have kind of the same profile picture on each of these networks that can be searchable for you. So just kind of browsing through here real quick, I can see that it's the same on all 4 of those, so that's great. Something else I might look at is the cover photo, which is the big splashy image behind here. And this is something I'm not quite quite as good on. So Twitter has one certain type, LinkedIn has another one, Google Plus has a different one, and Facebook has a different one. They're actually the same on these 3 channels here and not the same on Twitter. So if I were ever to want to do that, I could just kind of download the image from here. And Twitter makes it pretty easy to change things. So I can click on Edit, change my header image, and click Apply, and save. And now I have a bit more of a consistent look with the image there. One other thing I might point out here quickly too is the headline or message or blurb, or kind of differs from each network. But here on Twitter, it's kind of like a bio, and on LinkedIn, it's not so much a bio, it's more just the information about you and what you've done. Same thing on Google Plus, it's more of a, this is where I worked and where I went to school and where I live. And same thing with Facebook, so kind of the similar things about your history. So in the places where you can do a bio, maybe places like Twitter and Instagram, it's often great to kind of have a similar message there. Not always the case to be able to do that, but when possible, it's always great to have that be consistent. So that kind of covers the overview of the networks themselves. One other very subtle thing that is often quite helpful to have is to have the same URL or username on all these networks. So if I can clean this one up here, and you can see that Kevin Lee is my name here, and again here. And I've changed LinkedIn so that it's Kevin Lee. I've changed Google Plus so that it's Kevin Lee, and I've changed Facebook so that it's Kevin Lee. And I'm fortunate to have had the chance to do all that. I know some folks might have a bit of a tougher time if the name's not as unique. So one place that I find really helpful just to kind of check up to see how I'm doing there is knowem.com. It's KNOWEM. And Knowem will check all sorts of different social networks and sites to see what kind of usernames are available there. So for instance, if I were to check Kevin Lee, Knowem is going to return a list of results from the most popular networks and which places are still available for me to grab. So I'm hoping it's the case that I have most of these ones that aren't available. I think that's true. But then it also kind of identifies some places where I could grab it and reserve it. So SoundCloud looks like it's available, so maybe I'd want to grab it there. Takes you right to a sign up page where you can sign up. And even if you're not going to use these immediately, sometimes it's great to just grab them so that you kind of have control over the branding of that username. And if you might want to go into the network later on, you'll kind of have that URL and username reserved in that case. So on Knowem, this is kind of the page for most popular. There's also pages for social networks. And this is a huge list. This is their big list of things. So all sorts of different blogging rooms, bookmarking business, and the list just goes on and on and on. So if there's a specific network or a specific industry or topic that you want to make sure you have all your stuff reserved on, you can come to this page. And each link will take you out to a sign up page and you can get things reserved from there. So this covers kind of some of the basics of branding for both personal branding and professional business branding for you and your brand. I'd love to know if we can help with anything further here. Feel free to drop us a note anytime at hello@buffer.com. And I'll look forward to chatting with you all soon. Thanks.